And hello, and welcome back to today. Our adventurers have just broken up a gang of thieves that were once a part of Zeg's ship, military command, kind of a splinter group that was just kind of becoming bandits. Have just completely broken them up, two of which are being in the custody of Tough Tug, bar and inn kind of thing, to be given over to the authorities. There is one that is currently dead. You guys are currently outside with around your wagon and whatnot.
I do believe the course of action was we're going to stop gnawing on the individual, and I do believe one of us had the ability to speak with him in said form.
As discussing this goes on, you hear a rapping sound that's almost like someone knocking upon glass, coming from your wagon.
Coming from the wagon? Alright, I'll just look then.
Okay, so you see, you guys were carrying a wood elf acolyte of a group of druids. He had a huge pack full of stuff. And as this is going on, he's actually reaching in the pack, and this noise is coming from his pack as he goes and lifts up out of this what looks like, you know, those display pieces where you would pin like butterflies in? The big old glass frames. He pulls one up with a strange looking paper thin, almost, it looks more like an art piece. This odd character, as one hand is barely noticeable moving, tapping at the glass. Do you want to describe what your character looks like there?
Is a purple roundness.
With what, green hands?
Yeah, green square hands, black line eyes.
Yeah, he is knocking on this glass as he was put as like a display plate depiction of a species.
I think he's cursed.
Who's there?
I go ahead and just open it on my
You can try to speak.
This is just got me curious.
There would be some sort of latch that you'd be able to do, freeing this nearly two-dimensional being. He kind of Raymans there with the hands not connected.
I'm still the weirdest.
Where
Yes.
am I?
I'd say you found yourself upon a bandwagon of cursed individuals, according to some people, but what exactly are you?
I'm Paro. That's what I am.
Yeah, good enough for me.
This wouldn't be the first time, probably.
Just another creature for me to, I don't know, observe?
Yeah, he's just a rhombus face with hands just Raymanning here. How high would he be, like levitating off the ground?
He would just be levitating.
Yeah, but like how high up would he be? Would it be like the average adult size, that like 5 to 6 foot?
It would be like middle of here.
So closer to halfling size, which would be like 3-4 footer.
So, what was that doing in your pack? And
okay, so the acolyte is going to be like, well, we go out and find species that's necessary to re-enter into Kelp Keep, and I just saw this thing laying there, and I thought it was dead.
Wait,
and
what? Go back.
You
We-
reintroduced species?
We keep species that were out, and that's why we were there in the Coral Grove, is we were taking species, coral samples, living life forms and whatnot, and taking it to be studied and guarded until the ocean could come back, and we just never seen anything like this Paro thing.
But you need them to go into the keep?
Yes, first-timers have to contribute something.
Oh.
A seed, if you will, a life form.
Oh.
Now that's fascinating.
Don't call me
okay,
an object.
so
Life form.
You lock all of your life forms in glass?
I thought it I've never seen something so small. I happen to have a little thing. Sometimes,
Unlatched from the glass.
yes, you were. Rails here unlatched you.
All right, so your current crow keeps and preserves and makes safe creatures that are out and about, whether they are natural or not, till they can be reintroduced to the world.
It's kind of a nature
Sure, if I'm
preserve
able
of
to
a
do
point.
something.
Good, that actually might work then. But this works for an idea that's been bouncing around my head. That will be beneficial to many and, well, possibly profitable to me, of course. But on the whole, at least definitely get us in good graces with a few individuals.
I can definitely see that. I do agree with the cause, after all. So many, odd creatures that I've come across in my journey. And maybe I'll go ahead and see what all they have to offer there for me to observe.
Well, my main thing is concerning you.
Me.
You came about, and apparently there's other creatures out there that come about from being merged with something. From what was said in the past,
Yeah.
if there's more like you out there that could be stabilized, but they need a safe, structured sanctuary to be stabilized with guidance from those that know how to handle wild beasts.
I see what you're getting at. And I agree. Even though I've been improving, I could improve a lot more.
From the first time I've seen your condition,
I'm trying to find
you
the
have.
strings that hold him up.
On the strength.
The strings. I'm looking for strings.
And seeing if he's like a puppet.
He's trying to find how you are floating.
So, a way to capture them and get them here would be beneficial if we can verify that such a setup can be arranged. If not, well, they can hopefully be trained into army for use later on.
How did you get cursed?
Who said I was cursed?
Very.
That's not
magic
utilized.
rolling pin?
Well, isn't that like normal for most people?
This would be pretty interesting because before you are seeing two humans, a species that you know went extinct,
Yeah.
and you
And I made
assume,
bugs.
yeah, you're seeing a pile of bugs, which is way more normal.
I mean, I've been through a haunted mansion once before. I've seen stuff taking the form of past beings.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah, some
I would-
Halloween celebrations
I would-
where people.
I would think that these humans were like a bunch of sentient objects bunched up together.
Well, when you think about it, aren't we all just a bunch of minerals brought back together with a soul?
See, now you're getting it.
No, I'm not.
I think I am.
All right. As Paro has been introduced, there is the discussion of possibly speaking with what remains of this eaten soldier.
I left the tongue on, even though it is the best part.
For future reference, don't eat any more human or humanoid monsters or fair game if they're dead. Because I really don't want to accidentally die and have you munching on me.
Oh, if you die, it won't be an accident. And I don't eat my friends.
If you need to be reminded, Rails, you do have Speak with Dead as a spell in which the Necromancer taught you.
Oh yeah, I could definitely do that. Shall we ask him a few questions here? I'll leave it to one of y'all to ask the questions.
I don't know if I gave you the card.
I don't think he'd want to
Here's one
talk
of
to
the
me.
printouts.
Wait,
Yes, I do have the card.
What is the question limit, or what is the limit of the questions? I want to get the information down first before we just say something. It's never
It is 5 questions only known in the life. It only requires a component of a burning incense to really go for it. And it can only answer in the languages it knows. It's in no condition to answer honestly if it doesn't want to, though.
Okay, so it can answer dishonestly.
Unfortunately.
So, alright, what I'm wanting, it could outright lie, and there's no way for us to know.
And it cannot obtain any new information, so any information we give it is completely useless.
I mean, if it's dead, what's it going to use it for?
True.
Well, the problem is some of the information I want, it will outright lie about.
Potentially.
Maybe not.
Maybe you could give the question in a way where it can't answer dishonestly.
To remind everyone, this is Thomas Salvo, the head of the group that tried to break in. That would affect it.
Problem is asking him for directions to a certain location. He would give us the correct directions. Even if it's
Maybe
a
there's
straight
something
line.
he wants.
Even
Like not to be consumed by bugs.
that's already past the point.
He only had a nibble.
He cannot.
He's
cannot
missing
deal with
his left
They're
arm,
discussing
sir.
what they're going to ask.
And also, any new information goes through one ear and out the other with him, so he's pretty much not in no obligation to really
Think of it
think
this
of
way.
you.
Well, he already met.
Your threat.
What if we promise to return his body to his people?
You can offer that.
Then maybe he'll be more likely to be honest.
No. He's already pulled on a bunch of stuff.
I mean, in my youth, I spent years on the battlefield trying to recover bodies of our fallen soldiers. Maybe, if you negotiate, he'll be more likely to give you the truth.
I'd say we can give it a shot, but and any information would be just worth listening to at least, but not taking it to a grain of salt, as I say.
Has anyone even thought of a question?
I got quite a few rattling through my head.
Right.
Well, then you'll be the one asking the questions here. I'll just see if I can find an incense, and would I find an incense and light?
I'll look in the elf's bag.
Yeah, the elf probably has some sort of incense that, yeah, he would have
Ooh,
a good
marvelous.
enough pinch of that. You go ahead and cast the spell. All right.
This incense smells funny.
You see what remains of this person going through almost animalistic revivication almost. There's like a breath to go through. Sits up, eyeless at this point.
I was hungry.
Speak.
Well, you were slain. Question is, would you like to be returned to your command troop and your people?
No. Simple, straightforward answer.
Damn.
Do you want us to avoid delivering you to your people?
Affirmative.
Fear?
Then let us know where your base is so we know to avoid that location.
That's an interesting. That's a good roundabout way.
I've
of
already
doing it, to
given
be
you the
honest.
answer, and I'm trying to make sure that I keep it consistent. I believe it was Oasis. So he would say Oasis.
Oasis.
Are you done?
Do you
Want to cut in with the last question?
have any small?
There's only 5, and they're on their last one. I've counted right.
Yeah.
That location. Wait, no, then there'll be
He's going
Two
to
more?
ask a question now.
2. Yeah.
Alright, so you're going to ask a question?
2 more.
So then I can.
If you have
You can butt in
any
and
small,
interrupt and take any of it.
if he's butting in while I'm trying to say it, and he gets his question off before I do.
Well, there's 2 questions left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 questions.
So you could ask your question if you want to butt in.
You
ahead.
would have to ask a question and state what language you're saying it in. You have to state what language it is, because you know, like,
After
6.
before the question.
You can ask the questions and say what language, yeah.
Okay.
Because he was thinking about this during the last question. He would have butted in. He's just
Okay.
a little shy.
Go right ahead.
Toki Nasa, perhaps?
Whatever the equivalent of affirming. Because you said you speak it, right? Something like that?
Hmm?
Did you ask it if it speaks that language? I don't know that language.
Asked if it was drunk or something.
Would affirmative that, sure.
It was?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, God damn it.
What did he? What?
Which would also confirm that, yes,
Did
this
he?
is spoken somewhere in the stars now.
Explain.
Yes, he.
Did he?
Yes.
Say that in a language that I couldn't understand.
Yes, this is Tokipono. It is an actual language.
Tokipona.
Tokipona is an actual language that he's trying to learn that I put on his character sheet. And now I've confirmed that apparently in space, they speak that. So,
Space Canada.
What information did you gather?
that where Zeg's from? Space
Wait,
Canada?
I figured out he was drunk before this, I guess.
Well, thing is, he just asked a second question immediately afterwards.
What was the second question? I didn't notice it.
I caught it, but
I would need to
can't.
repeat it. What was the second question? Were you drunk or something?
Well,
That was the first question.
I,
Was you drunk or something? That would be the second question.
That's
No, that's
Okay.
that's the same.
well, he said
Okay.
you were confirming, so I thought you were still asking.
Sorry.
And also,
Okay, so you
all
can
right.
spit out your last one if you need be.
Where are any close by hidden bases that you know of that we may want to avoid?
He would state, and yet again, I forget parts of the map. There is he would definitely quickly say the mounds. The mounds are completely unsafe due to the tricrine being there. He would not have a problem telling you that. He would then inform Kelp Keep as a hidden base to avoid in his perspective. And he would probably say the monolith, but he wouldn't have a context of what lives there, just that it was suspicious enough to have put on a no-go zone. And then it would rigor mortis set in as it is now stiffly just sitting up. Maybe it was like a center of mass issue flipping over.
Well, and that's all the questions we're getting out of it unless we want to wait 10 days. If it still has a mouth by then. Because that's also another condition of the soul. Needs a mouth. At least you didn't eat the jaw.
I only had a little snack.
I'm not judging you for that. And
That's
more of
what
my fair
regular
share
food
of
is
blood.
for.
I'm definitely judging you right now.
I would like
Sure.
everyone to give a perception check.
Ow.
You'll roll a d20 and add your perception skill. Which is-
20.
okay, you nat 20'd, which lets you do something else too.
What's my perception? Where?
15. Your perception plus 5. So you did it for a 25. What was your result?
I'm sorry. 7.
7. You're going to notice, and so what was your perception? Sorry? 6. And so would Chirp would actually notice as this is going on, and you guys reached, also with Zeg being looking over, that you see movement out of the corner of your eye, and you see Lily, which is this Kitsune girl that Zeg met, has now leapt onto his motorcycle and has kicked it on. If you would want to take an action to try to stop that, I don't know why you would. But if you want to,
What
or to alert,
exactly happening?
a girl is hijacking a motorcycle.
Only problem is only 2 people possibly see this.
Would have noticed in
Wait.
time to have moved to act.
Can I
So-
try to stop because I want the motorcycle?
You can attempt to move. Chirp, what are you doing?
I've seen them riding on the motorcycle together earlier. It's fine.
You think it's fine? Alright.
I mean, yeah.
I would need you to do if you're going to run and try to remove her from the motorcycle, I need you to roll and do a athletics check against hers. It's a d20, and roll and add your -1 to the result to see if you remove her from motorcycle.
Didn't you get something from all
It seems like
He does, but I would like to resolve this action of things before, because you do get something for rolling a 20, which means you get to roll on the fate table. Roll that. And make
It seems
I almost
like-
had to roll on the fake table too, but the wrong way.
it seems like good market
It'll be
value.
13.
It's cocked.
They got caught.
Wait, what?
Yeah, roll again.
Reroll it, got
Because that was in between a 2 and a
4.
2, 20.
2 and a 20, which is a huge
So you
deal.
got 3.
3 to 13 as you try to. She skitters off with the motorcycle, leaving Zeg
That really sucks.
in the group. It's like, man, she was paying too much attention to the motorcycle and not me.
Yeah.
Well, Grand Theft Iron Horse.
Actually, he will attempt to catch up. I don't know.
Here,
I'll
take
try.
my kangaroo.
How do you even drive this thing?
Right, okay.
Maybe
Good luck.
Maybe I.
You say something to Chibiani, and
Yeah.
it understands, and then
I
off.
Make
I
sure
can
she
also
doesn't get
speak
eaten
with
by a
animals
worm.
if I wanted to, and I could give an idea of what you want. Like I just relay that.
Thanks, man.
message And just have him run.
Thank you
off.
also for that. All right. So as that's happened, you rolled a 20, which because of our new rules, you get to roll a D100, which is the result of these two. This is going to be the ones place. This is going to be the tens place. Roll it. We'll see.
Let's see what happens.
Well, this is interesting.
Says Paro.
Oh, I hope you get to be
Let's
the dungeon
see,
master.
64.
Okay, 64.
That's my lucky
This
number.
is our new rule of
Nintendo.
having fate and
I used
fortune
to
and
play
misfortune.
that when I was 10.
I gotta keep that stuff in check right now.
64.
Okay.
Oh, he's getting behind the screen. Look.
Okay. You feel like giving a stirring speech to your team. So go ahead and attempt to give a stirring speech.
It doesn't have to be in common.
What do you mean by like a stirring speech?
You give a rallying speech. You're trying to
Motivate
people.
Treat this adventure just like say I treat my taxes, okay?
Uh,
That's it.
What does a rock need to pay taxes for? That's more interesting than anything.
Okay, so as the speech goes on, everyone gains 1d4 they can add to any roll for the rest of the day. So set a d4 aside, I guess. Because you can add one as you kind of get like bardic inspiration, sort of, by a speech.
Should we be concerned at all that she's gonna get eaten by a snake thing under the sand? The one with the motorcycle.
Well, we'll see what fate has for her.
Oh, then you won't have to chase her as far.
It isn't my problem.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Can I run on your wagon?
I don't see why not at this point.
Perry.
Thank you.
Hurry.
Paro.
Paro. Great. Now I got that in my head. I'll ask that later. Well, you're free to go, obviously, wherever you want to go. Best of journeys to you, and avoid your
You
taxes.
said I was leaving.
We're leaving. How do you float?
At this point, I think you should realize that we're expected to tag along, have anybody who's...
Hey, which
cursed
way is
like
your
this.
I'm not leaving. I don't know what you were thinking. I feel like staying, okay?
Well, he was just in a glass case assumed to be dead, and now we just brought him out in the middle of the desert.
I'm gonna. Take
I doubt he'll
one of
survive
my
on his
bugs
own
and
at this
put it in
point.
a glass case.
You putting me back in the
No, he's made of bugs. He took a bug and put it into the glass case, as you see it, I guess, crawl around. You imagine that if you would fill it with some sort of sand and you had the right species, you'd have a really good, interesting kit for kids. Ant colonies.
I'm thinking about getting a whole bunch of needles and pinning it down so... Oh, wait. For a display. It is a display case, right?
Yeah, it is. It
Could be used for that. So you guys decide to head off. You notice that it's a general direction of where Lily is taking the motorcycle. They may have some sort of catching up that has happened. And it's in the general direction of Kelp Keep, which the druid acolyte would point out.
This is my second bad experience with someone named Lily.
It's a personal cut.
ouch.
Are we able to determine the rough age of this rhombus?
Well, is it like
That
a
would-
cut gem, or is it like a...
It's like flat.
Try to get like a feel for this thing. It's flat as paper, but looks like a bunch of Rayman gems.
I mean, you could do some sort of, you could either ask the individual or do some sort of medical check with like disadvantage for this being a completely foreign.
Yes, I'm doing that.
I'm doing it in quiet.
8.
Just from based on my observations. So, 12 and 9.
Are you old enough to be out here alone?
I'm 21, sir.
Well, that just answered our
That was
question.
my 9th guess.
Still making Zeg the baby of the group. Oh man, I'm still younger than you. Come on, man.
Didn't he
Lactose intolerant.
Oh no, yeah, he wrote off. My
Oh.
bad.
I just can't keep track of them all.
That's okay.
Still need your brother back.
So, who is animal handling the horse in which was pulled off from a patch?
Well, he has experience with like an animal. I think I could trust
I could
him
do
a little
that.
more.
Does the animal seem to be scared of me like some of the other animals were?
No.
Okay.
To him, you're just insects. That's
Yeah.
all it perceives.
Mm.
It has a lot to do
21.
with 21.
Nice.
Go ahead, say something about the horse.
It's gonna be scared of me. It seems like good market value.
Good market value. Well, then stay out of the sight of the horse.
The horse is surprisingly receptive to you as you make good pace as you're going across the desert. I would like you to roll a d20 and add a d4. Well, actually a d6 to the result.
17 total.
All right. So that's getting our sound check system as you're
okay.
going
We
through.
bought things to help mitigate.
Oh yes.
that
Okay.
for the
Then
horse.
what was the 6? If you remember.
12. The 5 was on the D6.
Okay. Okay. So it was a 12. You happen with this new padded. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
padded
no!
shoes. The padded shoes seems to definitely help. They're it is a little bit more louder than you would expect due to the wheel carriage, the carriage part not being padded. But that's a lot less surface area if you're going to happen. You go through the desert at a pretty decent pace. I would like you all to give me a perception check.
Oh, perception. And also, what does the weather look like? I love that.
I was
Perception
thinking about it
check.
earlier.
Shoes for horses to pad the sound they produce on the sand because stuff under the sand are hungry.
I think about 12. 19.
I got
Shoot,
18.
rolling high.
Okay, 18. You got a 24. You?
I got 12.
12 in your result.
Or darn.
Okay.
That good? Was it a 1?
Yeah. You do have to tell me if it's a 1.
No, I got 1.
Okay.
I do know that.
All right.
That's
So,
only 2 better than was.
Paro, as they're going by and you're in this wagon, you notice something sticking out of the ground that is made out of stone and looks valuable.
Is he still floating above the wagon?
He would be in the wagon, probably not, but still floating over the
I can,
wagon's
I can.
inside carriage.
I'm able to lie down, you know.
I don't know. But I'm also wondering about the physics of you floating above the wagon and just carrying on with the wagon as well.
You think I paid attention in college?
You went
You
to
went
college?
to college?
What are you talking about? We went to college too.
Oh, I was going to go to college to find a wizard. And
That's
was
where I
like,
met them at, was at college.
So you noticed
I
something.
guess technically I did go
You
to
do
college.
notice something. You do not have to tell anyone, but it looks valuable.
Where is it again? In the wagon. So
Outside the wagon, it's in the sand, and it's something that seems to be poking out of the sand, partially buried.
I attempt to get it.
You would have to get out of the wagon.
Do I have to roll to get out of the wagon?
No, but everybody sees you leap out of the wagon.
Okay.
Those that are not driving, if you will. So Rails and Jackson sees Paro just woof.
Gem Boy just jump wagon. Gem Boy.
And
Slow it down for a second.
Oh, I grabbed the brake.
The horse brake.
why are you breaking the horse?
Do I have to roll to? You have to roll
It's
to
better
get
than
it out
trying to
of the
throttle
wagon.
it, I guess.
You can roll. You make it there first. I would need you to roll a history check. Actually, you.
History.
Yeah, not a history check. Let me think. Investigation. You got stuff in investigation.
Alright, investigation.
Yes.
14.
Okay, so that's an 18. Your investigation, you're moving stuff. You see what first looks like a rather large, like hand-sized pearl structure reveals to be a hand of stone. And then after that, a set of horns. And in just a little bit of time, as people are eventually catching up to you, you're revealing what looks like a dragonborn holding some sort of pearl.
Wow.
Were you going over there?
Wait.
Because I was going to rub down the horses.
I'm
Or the horse.
I'm going over there like, you don't
Okay.
want to get yourself killed out here, Gem.
Wow, this is the. I'm having the same
His name's
reaction when I
Hero.
met Ari.
Interesting. Seeing this humanoid dragon shape holding
Are you going over there?
pearl.
What the heck is that?
Oh, I will be. That's a pearl.
Oh, fair enough.
Could I do Arcana check?
Yes, you can go ahead and do an Arcana check
For what?
if it's magic.
I'm just going to take care of the horse, rub it down, take off the...
I mean, I've seen someone sell a Harry Potter DVD for $1,000. If it's real magic, it's gonna
That's
go
a
for
one.
way more.
What happens?
You're checking for this. You roll a 1. You need to roll a D100, which is the 2 tens, and you heard how to read them.
So it's these two?
Yes.
35.
All right.
Oh no.
Don't put away the. Okay, yeah, you can put away the dice. As you're checking, suddenly you are just coated in a layer of black grease. You are now currently coated in grease. Everyone within a 10-foot square of you is coated in grease. It is treated as difficult terrain. You
I am
have to
Paro,
roll
or
a.
priest.
You have to roll a dex save of DC 15, where fall over prone
How would I fall
if you're
over?
moving at all.
How would I fall over and floating?
Something about your physics. There's some sort of center of mass that is like outside of what people would see.
And it's messing with your center of
Yeah.
mass, I guess.
Is the statue also covered in grease now?
Yeah,
Were you over there when you got...
Man, this
I was
lo-
approaching. I
Uh-huh.
wasn't there yet.
Man,
he was. He definitely didn't seem as happy to see this as a.
man, this
we're
lower down to
eager to get
market
over there.
value.
Also,
I got a
keeping the other guy
15.
out.
Okay, so you are able to get out of the grease, move out, brush yourself off. Yes, you can roll to attempt to get out of this grease spell that just suddenly.
This is just absurd. This is also absurd.
Okay, that is still a 16. You swoop like on a banana peel, and Paro falls into the grease.
Where the heck did the grease come from?
You didn't check for traps?
I think it might be magic. It just might.
Dope.
Allow me to take a look at it.
You're
Carefully,
so
carefully,
glorious.
picking up a whole bunch of sand, tossing onto the grease to give it more grit.
Go ahead and gain For that, I'm going to give you an inspiration, which then goes to the public pool. That was a good idea. Do you cover Paro in the process? He fell prone into it.
Do you want some extra ability to get out of there?
Yes.
Handfuls of sand are now placed over you and the grease.
This is so uncomfortable.
We'll wash you off later.
I thought water was hard to come by.
It is.
Did y'all not bring water
there's
on
no
your
cloud
trip
in
or
the sky.
something? What is this?
We got water.
Can I attempt to steal one of the water bottles?
Hey, Elf. Where's
I have kerosene.
You have to get up. What? You're talking to the elf?
Yeah. Do you have any food for this horse?
There's food in the wagon.
There was. That was before you even came in. There would have been barrels of different supplies. He'd say it's not my horse. I mean, I could get him something. He would go in some sort of dried plants or whatnot, but...
Okay. I'm gonna feed the horse.
Can you make good berries?
Yeah, that's a level 1 spell, right? He would probably have only had like a cantrip. So he'd say, no, he wouldn't be like a level in Druid.
Oh, okay.
He's below a level in Druid.
Yeah, he's gonna teach me magic though.
Did
All
you
right.
promise this?
Wait a minute, I still have the dry sponge.
How do I steal a water bottle?
You know what? Dry sponge. Go. Just on.
Oh, you attempt, which person are you trying to steal from? Which would be either Rails or Jackson. Because that is a thing.
Can I attempt to steal from the horse?
The horse does not have water.
Man.
It's not a camel.
Would be given water, but does not have water at the moment.
Steal. Jackson?
That would be a sleight of hand versus perception.
You'll be fine.
Unfortunately.
Go ahead and roll as you...
9 or 6.
That is a 6.
Man.
Plus your sleight of hand.
Plus 7.
That's a 13.
19.
So you see a
I will
square hand reaching.
advise you.
No, my body stays in the same place, but my square head just kind of just kind of moves.
I'm just distracted scrolling down with a dry sponge.
If you're that desperate for water, give us a brief moment. You will be taken care of. But try not taking
How much water
stuff
can
from...
he possibly drink? He's this big and it's this thin.
Give us a moment. We'll be right with you.
Man, I don't believe you, but okay.
So do
Hand
I have?
sneaks back.
So do I have a greasy sponge now?
Yes, you have a greasy, bloody sponge.
Bloody.
You cleaned the tent. I don't think you washed it off.
Oh yeah, greasy, bloody sponge.
You're covered in Allosaurus blood now. Which is pretty boss.
High market value!
I thought that would be an insult to your kind, whatever you are. That
No,
put
it's
a
just
value
an
on you
insult
like
to
that.
me. Just an insult to me.
You're
All
one of
right.
a kind, clearly.
Give him some water from one of the barrels while I look at this pearl.
Yeah, I will.
We can always refill later. Checking out the statue, checking out the pearl, making check for traps first, and then proceeding from there. And also try and find out what material the statue is made of.
Mm-hmm.
And this is perception, right?
Unless if it's just a looking over and then looking for traps, and the material, yeah. It's perception.
13.
You look at this, and there seems to be no traps from the perspective.
All right, triggered. Gotcha.
The pearl looks like it's possibly cut from a large oyster and not an actual pearl. Which, I mean, mother of pearl versus pearl. The stone seems to be very weathered. It seems to have sat under the water for some time, which means it's pretty old. And it's made of basalt.
Pearl easy to remove, or is it still secured?
It, by the sculpt of the claws, would take some sort of strength check, which would be good if you happen to have a crowbar. That gives you advantage checks on that.
Bring that sponge over.
All right. There's the sponge. Don't know why you would want to.
Greasing
Grease.
the pearl a bit.
Okay.
There you go.
Give me back your sponge. Like, use what materials we have.
What's code?
An oven.
And using thieves' tools to help pull this free.
All right, I'll give you. Go ahead and get advantage on this. Grease.
Wow. Is this going to be sleight of hand as well?
Probably.
Okay. Well, that's a 30 with that roll.
Okay. That would be hard to get much.
Yeah, there's the 30 was a lot better.
It has a nice pop, clunk, as it is removed from this statue, and you see it's polished to a sheen. You see a reflection of yourself, and kind of an odd sickly feeling in the pit of your stomach, like you pondered an old thing that you thought of that you kind of cringe about, like you shouldn't have done, or was a silly idea even if you didn't go through with it. And
Maybe you think about earlier.
that's where I'm going to have to ask everyone but Jackson to leave.